Hello, and welcome to Rest in the Word ASMR. I want to welcome you in today. I am going to be reading today in Proverbs 31 about the virtuous woman. I want to do maybe the next 4 videos just kind of dedicated to the women out there. And then I will do some dedicated women for our men out there. Some encouraging verses for women and men. So I'm going to start off with a power puncher. Proverbs 31 in verse 10 all the way down to verse 31. I'm so happy you're here. Let me know if you like the sound of this or not. Okay, so Proverbs 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that she shall have no need of spoil. No need of spoil. The heart of her husband so safely can trust in her. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. Her hands worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant's ships. She bringeth her food from afar, from afar, from afar. She bringeth her food from afar, afar, afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. She giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. She considereth the field, and buyeth it with the fruit of her hands. She planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good, and her candle goeth not and purple. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land. She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant, Strength and honor are her clothing. Strength and honor are her clothing. Strength and honor are her clothing. And she shall rejoice in time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. In her tongue is the law of kindness. In her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household. She looketh well to the ways of her household. She looketh well to the ways of her household. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children rise up. Children rise up and call her blessed. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Many daughters have done virtuously. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, but the woman that fears the Lord, she shall be praised. She shall be praised. Favor is deceitful virtuous woman, a virtuous woman. And my daughters, I really think about my daughters. I have not one, not two, but three daughters. I have three daughters who I am aiming to raise to be virtuous women. And because I am aiming to raise them to be virtuous women means that I am homeschooling them. I am not saying that you cannot raise a virtuous woman who you put in public school, but I need, if I am able to raise them in a way where they can take full advantage and soak up the most wisdom and knowledge they can. And I find that being here at home, where I can train them up in the way they should go lest they depart from it. And that would be here in my house. And that is another Bible verse, to train them up in the way they should go. In the way they should go. Because it is true. It is true. It is hard to find. It is hard to find who can find a virtuous woman. Who can find one? Who can find one? And it says, many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Thou excellest them all. And I'm trying to raise my little Proverbs 31 women full of confidence and walking with God, and not confidence in themselves. No. Not confidence in ourselves. Confidence in our Father. And then He gives us the power. It's easier to raise them here because I believe that it's easy to fill ourselves with the Holy Spirit in the home, especially for children. There's such a huge, heavy influence these days in the school system. And although we want to raise our children to be strong in the outside world, and I realize that they need a good foundation, and I'm hoping to give them that foundation here at home. I did not have that, and it really impacted me in a bad way, but I am so grateful that when I was 30 years old, I sought after truth, even truth that I didn't necessarily want to be right. I had to swallow my pride and just seek after truth alone, even though everybody around me in my own circle was telling me otherwise. And that is how I know that, some people say, oh, you're teaching your children in a way where they have an unfair advantage, like you're training them up in how you want them to be. But I was brought up in a household that very much thought they loved God, but it was not the God of the Bible. And I sought after truth alone because I saw with my own eyes things did not make sense. And I'm so happy I did, because now I can say I saved. I am saved, and it's different than how I was brought up, for sure. And I did that through seeking truth and truth alone. Truth and truth alone. Sometimes I get off track a little bit, maybe I did there. But I am so thankful that although my past it's very flawed, that I can still, in my older age of 39, and when I was 30, when my husband and I both were saved, when our little babies, our little tiny babies, our little itty bitty babies, they were looking up at me, and I thought, I need to be able to answer their questions someday. I need to be, because I still didn't have answers that now I see are easy, but they were so hard for me then because I did not have truth. And I'm so thankful for those little bitty babies that God gave us, because it pushed me to not delay. Do not delay this life that is but once, and we are all appointed once to die. Once. We all have an appointment, and then, and then after that, we better be sure, right? We can have, and I just wasn't sure. I had a very unsettling feeling, unsettled, always worried, full of anxiety. And now I am confident in God. I am confident in my choice. I am happy. I am settled. I am sure. And I want the same thing for my daughters. I want them to be able to feel sure. And I want to raise them having that foundation and then being able to build on it. Like with these verses on the virtuous woman. They need that foundation first, though, in order to build on it. Because this is talking about a saved woman. And it is in the Bible. It's titled Praise for a Good Wife. That's what it's titled. We know there's not one good, no, not one, but we can be seen as good from God when we have the blood of Jesus covering us. Just like in the Old Testament when they were to put the blood of a lamb on the doorpost and they would remain unharmed. That's all they had to do. To trust in the blood of the lamb. And it's the same, it's the parallel in the New Testament. To trust in the blood of the lamb. That is what saves. But to trust wholly and completely, not in ourselves, not even 1%. It's like sitting on a chair and trusting that the chair will not break, but that it will hold us, or trusting in that airplane that we sit in to get us there. That's the kind of trust we need to have in Jesus. I would not trust in myself to get myself to the next airport from one to another. I would not trust in that because I can't fly a plane. salvation, and I am so thankful for it in my older age of 30 when I finally was saved. And I'm so thankful for the things that are important now that maybe once were not. And I'm thankful that my daughters at 11, at the young age of 11, they are twins, 11, that they are able to see the importance of that, and that they can build in a healthy way without any outside influences, really. It's amazing to see the difference of them being 11 compared to when I was 11, and I'm so thankful. But I'm also so thankful for my life and what I've gone through to get here, and for the truth I see, and for seeking that truth and putting it into action also. So that's why I'm saying not everyone is capable of homeschooling, or not everyone was homeschooled. And I'm not saying that's the tell-all, the saving grace by any means, but I think about this for my girls, and I think about how precious they are, and how I just want to provide them the best I can to become a virtuous woman. And I hope this was a blessing